what's going on, guys? It's Steve. Today we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, recently, Paul Pierce and Doc Rivers have been talking about, they've been saying the Los Angeles Clippers are title contenders. Now, before I even talk about that, I would just like to say Paul Pierce has earned the right to talk trash like that. And here's why. He's been known to be the guy, no matter if he's a superstar or if he's in his post-star era, he's known to be the guy to be able to take over at will. If you look at his Boston days when he used to beat up on LeBron, beat up on Dwyane Wade, beat up on Carmelo, he always used to annihilate them, especially LeBron James, which is why I say if it weren't for Paul Pierce, LeBron would not be the player he is right now. But Doc Rivers, I think he's a good coach, but I also think he's extremely overrated, and here's why. He had 3 of the top 10 players at the time in Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett all on the same team. So, of course, you're going to win an NBA championship. And for you to only win 1 out of 5, obviously you didn't go 5 years in a row, but for you to only go to the finals twice out of 5 years with that stacked team, and you also had Rajon Rondo, and then you also had Nate Robinson some years, you had, Glenn Big Baby Davis, and you just had Rasheed Wallace. They had so many great role players, right? And for them to only do it, that kind of makes me question their coaching ability. And another prime example is Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is a good coach, but I mean, is he really that great that the Warriors, even when he missed the first half of the season, they still went 24-0? You know what I'm saying? So if you look at it that way, it makes me start to realize that, maybe he's not that great of a coach. Maybe it's just the team is good, and maybe he's just a coach on a good team. Like the same thing with David Blatt. David Blatt was a solid coach, but did that mean he was an NBA ready coach? No, it didn't. Why? Because David Blatt, he was coaching LeBron James, he was coaching Kyrie Irving, he was coaching Kevin Love. So of course, they're going to be. Of course, he's going to have a solid record against them. You know what I'm saying? So overall, I think some of these coaches are overrated. But anyway, I'm off on a tangent. The Los Angeles Clippers, can they contend with teams like the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers? Now, here's the reason why I don't think they can. Well, I think they can, but I don't think they'll be top tier. And the reason why is, here we go. Chris Paul is obviously that man. He can close games out. He can lead you to the promised land. He has the heart of a lion. He is a top-tier point guard. He's one of the best point guards in NBA history, in my opinion, top 3. He can do almost everything on the floor. He's one of the best defensive guards ever, which means he's a two-way player, which means he can lock up Steph Curry. Not lock up, but you know what I'm saying. He could put, he could play good defense on them. He could play good D on Steph Curry. He could play good D on Russell Westbrook. If they play against Dame Lillard, he can play good D on Dame Lillard. So he can do all of that, but besides that, the immaturity with Blake Griffin punching someone in the face, I don't trust him to be able to close games. Now, they still have that man in Paul Pierce because Paul Pierce has still shown that he can still close games out in his post-prime era. If you look at him in Washington, he was still closing out games, hence why he had a few game winners, hence why he always had the ball in the closing seconds. In Brooklyn, he was still the closer because he is that man. He is the man to say, you know what, I know I'm in my post-prime era, but I can still take over. I still got it. That's what makes legends. You know what I'm saying? So him and Chris Paul are the only 2 players I would actually trust in terms of closing games out. But do they have enough firing power? What I mean by firing power is, do they have enough scorers, and not just scorers? Because there's a difference. Like, for example, CJ McCollum, he averages 20 points per game last season. He averaged 20 points per game last season, but that doesn't mean he's a great scorer. He's not explosive. There's a difference between someone that gradually scores 20 points per game. For example, you can score 5 points per quarter. That's easy. Obviously, easier said than done, but it's not the hardest thing to do, so hence why so many players can do it. But if you're someone that can explode, like your LeBrons, like your D Wades in his prime, like your Paul Pierces, like your Carmelos, like your Stephen Currys, like your Klay Thompsons, like your Kevin Durant and your Russell Westbrooks, that is different level top tier. And I don't see any explosive scorers on that team besides Chris Paul and Paul Pierce. Now, Paul Pierce isn't even explosive anymore. He can probably hit a game winner here and there, but explosive-wise, I don't see it happening. Now, Chris Paul, he's explosive, but again, Here we go with him and his height. When you're a small guard, he's probably not even 6 foot. He's probably like 5'11". When you're barely 6 foot, not only that, when you're a little guy, I don't care if you're Stephen Curry, I don't care if you're Damian Lillard, I don't care if you're Kyrie Irving, if you're Chris Paul, if you're the modern day Isaiah Thomas, I don't care who you are. When you're small and you're vertically challenged, it is limited to what you can do on the floor and limited to how you can take over. Now, Chris Paul is a special exception because he can do almost everything on the floor, but at the same time, you know, I don't know if he can really explode deep in. I mean, he's proven that he can because he's done it before. But consistently to be able to go through some of these teams, like for example, if they face the Portland Trailblazers in the first round, I think he could do it against Portland. I think he could do it against San Antonio. And here's why I think he could do it against Portland. Chris Paul is better than everyone on that roster. Then you have Blake Griffin averaging hopefully 25, 10, and 5. And then on top of that, you know, you have Paul Pierce who could hit a game winner, spread the floor. You have Darrell Wright. You have Maurice Spates. You have DeAndre Jordan, who's obviously going to be benched because he can't hit a freaking free throw. Which is absolutely ridiculous. How the hell are you going to pay someone that much money and they can't even make a damn free throw? That doesn't even make sense. And when that contract expires with Los Angeles and you're looking for work and Chris Paul is coming to the New York Knicks, I do not want you even thinking about making an offer or even trying to get to the Knicks because bye-bye. We don't want you. Don't come to New York. Stay over there in Los Angeles. Work on your free throw game, man. You have so much freaking potential and you're holding yourself back. Anyway. So firepower-wise, I think they could beat Portland, and I just think they're a better team than Portland. Now, San Antonio's in the same realm, and I don't want to go too much in depth because obviously we're going to be talking about the Spurs just like every other team we're going to be talking about. But Kawhi Leonard has proven to not be the guy to close games, and here's why. Against Oklahoma City, the San Antonio Spurs changed. I'm talking about the Western Conference semifinals of 2016. The San Antonio Spurs changed their offense to revolve around Kawhi, and what happened? He dwindled. He disappeared. And that's why the Spurs lost in 5 games. I think it was 5. It may have been 6 games. I don't know. But that's why the Spurs lost pretty badly to the Oklahoma City Thunder. But in terms of Golden State, I mean, let's be real for a second. I don't think any team right now has as much firing power as Golden State. I mean, Cleveland, you have LeBron with 25. You have Kyrie with 20. Kevin Love with like 16 to 20. But, I mean, if you think about it, Stephen Curry averaging maybe 25, Kevin Durant averaging 27, Klay Thompson averaging 20. That's damn near 70 points right there. Like, are you kidding me, man? That's nearly 70 points right there. Probably over 7. That's 72 points. That's 70 freaking 2 points. That's ridiculous, man. I mean, damn, dude. That's crazy, man. That's actually 70. Yeah, 72 points. I think my math is right? 20? Anyway, guys, I'm just going to continue to move on. But, yeah, so, you know, when you go through all of that and you truly think about what makes or breaks a team, especially when it gets to, like, the Western Conference Finals where the games come down to the wire and you need that firepower. I know Chris Paul's going to be there. I know Paul Pierce is going to be there. But Paul Pierce is not what he used to be. He's just a catch-and-shoot player for the most part now and a solid low-post defender. That's all he really is right now for the most part. So it's really just on Chris Paul, and Chris Paul being vertically challenged, he's really limited to what he can do. He can't take it to the basket every single time because he will get double-teamed. He'll get triple-teamed, and he'll get blocked. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of that, you know, Chris Paul, he's that man, but he can't do everything on the floor, which is why, you know, this is why Stephen Curry had some problems in the finals taking over because of his size. You know? Now, the reason why I don't hold that same thing for Russell Westbrook is because he's actually undersized. He's actually around 6'4", 6'5", really. But they have him at 6'3". If you don't believe me, you can actually look this up. He's actually around 6'4" and a half. So that's pretty crazy. But anyway, so, you know, so Chris Paul is that man. He can take over, but, you know, against a team like the Warriors where they have 3 players that can take over, and then not only that, you have Kevin Durant, who is the second best player in the world. So let's say Kevin Durant's struggling. They'll go to Stephen Curry. Let's say Stephen Curry's struggling. They'll go to Klay Thompson. And don't you dare let me get started about Klay Thompson. That man, if he even gets hot for 1 second, that's game over. I don't care what team you are. I don't care if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't care if you're the New York Knicks. I don't care if you're the Portland Trailblazers, the San Antonio Spurs, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Houston Rockets, whatever damn team you think you have that can beat that team. Especially when Klay Thompson is on fire, get out of here. There's no way in hell Any team could be Klay Thompson while he's on fire. That man has multiple quarters in which he's had 20 plus points. That's crazy, man. He had 30, I think it was 37. He had 37 points in one quarter. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, man. So overall, the Clippers, with Blake Griffin's immaturity, with Chris Paul doing what he does, being a beast, I think Chris Paul would do his job, but I'm not too confident in his surrounding team, which is why I think he needs to change teams, and it's about time he comes to the New York Knicks and play with Carmelo Anthony. Anyway, guys, that's my 2016-2017. Are they title contenders? I don't think so. I almost did the outro for another video. I had to catch myself for a second. But anyway, guys, I thank you guys for your support. It's been Steve. I'm out of here. Peace.